And yeah, that's basically my student-led conference. Do you have any questions?
Was this limited to just black and white on the picture?
No, we made it black and white because it was a depressing story until the end, and we just thought black and white maybe might make it look sad.
Okay.
I have a question about reading.
Yeah.
Is there a certain amount of reading that goes on for personal reading in each class?
Well, you can explain about the like Hatchet and the, what it's called?
ORPs?
ORPs.
Well, like, she had us pick a book off a list of maybe 7 different ones, and I picked this one. And there were other options like The Hobbit, Lord of the Flies, I don't know, I can't remember any others because I just basically picked Hatchet. As far as like reading in our classes, we're reading a book right now called Monster. We just started it, first 12 pages today, and so far I like it because it's kind of like a case in the courtroom.
Is it that based on?
Charlie's
No,
Theron?
I don't think it's really appropriate. But it has it's still about someone who's on
Yeah.
trial about
I haven't seen it.
The movie's a hard watch.
Is it?
Yeah. Did you get those?
Charlize Theron's got an Oscar. She's getting an Oscar for that.
I had a question for you. As far as you wrote this cell story, and you had an option of doing a number of different things, you know, rapping, acting, writing a story. What really made you choose the story writing aspect?
Last year I had Mr. Toner, an humanities teacher, and he really improved my writing. And now I feel confident about my writing, and I don't know, I spent all summer without writing, and I guess I wanted to warm it up, so I just wrote this, and I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to keep on writing. I know it might not have been the most interesting thing, but I had fun writing it. Yeah.
It was cool. It was a good idea about bringing didn't you bring all the cities together?
I brought like all the organelles
Oh,
together.
yeah, everyone else together, right? And into one big.
It took me a while to understand it when I was first reading it. This makes no sense. And then you get to the end and it does.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's also hard when you don't, you know, it's the pieces of the cell, right? I also noticed that you and Eric work together a lot. Is that you mentioned a goal of yours to make friends and have positive relationships with everyone in the class. I actually think that it would be a good challenge for you to try and branch out in your group choosing.
Yeah.
Because you are a very mature young man. Hopefully I've never done this. I mean, in the way you present yourself, in your intelligence, in the way you see the world, and the way you can have relationships with people. I mean, Dylan and I had these conversations, and I'm like, am I talking to my peer or my student? I mean, he really is very advanced socially.
It's the oldest child syndrome.
Yes, I mean, he's like an old soul, you know. I just see him really having that wisdom almost. And I really would like the rest of your classmates to get the opportunity to know you a little better.
Right.
So I challenge you to take that on, to try and put yourself in a situation where you're not saying it's a calculated risk. You know, you don't know someone so well, but you think that you might work well with that person, or you could complement them with your social skills and your speaking skills, and maybe they have really artistic skills and your writing skills, and they have creative skills. So maybe you can try and find people who you can pair yourself with, other than, you know, your safe ones. And it's the beginning of the year, so I know.
Yeah.
We choose the people we feel safe with, but as one of your goals to make friends, I think that will help you to make friends, and everybody likes you, you know. That's just the kind of guy you are. And so I really, you know, all your teachers love you. You're a very lovable, likable guy who offers a lot, who brings a lot to the table. And I want you to offer your gifts to other people.
Okay.
I have a few things to say to you.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you one question first because I haven't been present for most of this. We studied a lot of subjects in our humanities class. Very odd and eclectic nature at this point. As far as what's been going on, what do you think was the most challenging subject for you? Not necessarily to say that you did the worst on, but just one that you thought made you think or better made you work.
No, I've never studied, like, for our monster project, I never studied the Greeks or any type of Greek Orthodox religion, or I've never studied any of that stuff we've ever studied in humanities class, not the Platonic love, or Caden's hymn, or all that stuff like that. I've never studied it, and honestly, the most challenging stuff was either Beowulf, understanding it, or the monster project. But I had fun with both.
Good.
Yeah.
Dylan is such a blessing in my class because while he's in my easygoing class, my 2-3 period. What he does is he's really sort of this unintentional liaison between my boys and my girls and my all types of kids that I have, because I have to agree, he has such maturity. When you speak to me, when you speak to your peers, when you speak in Socratic seminar, I love how he thinks, and it's very fair-minded and it's advanced beyond anything I could hope for. And I like to see you thinking, I like to see you challenged, and I love to see you understanding and explaining. And as far as working with Eric Espinoza, you bring out good things in Eric. I really think you do. And so I don't necessarily fully discourage you working with him, but I do agree that you need to not just work with him, because you are such a blessing. You ought to be shared with those who need you. And I think will improve you personally, because I want you to continue advancing this way that you have been obviously advancing.
Okay.
But his work is solid, and it's honest and mature, except for his love of the Red Sox, which is wrong. And
No, which is great, which we totally respect.
And he rats me out to Miss Yoster, and I have to say, no.
You got another one coming up too.
Did you watch that game today?
I will say publicly, I'm not a Yankees fan, I am an Angels fan.
Yeah.
So my bitterness is
So
before.
your feelings are hurt.
Right, but I'm allowing the Red Sox to do better now because they are playing the Yankees. But you need to improve your Red Sox fan, just loyalty, because frankly, it's going to suffer in my class. But no, he's so much fun, and I really am thankful to have you in my class. It's very nice to have you, and especially since you brought the Hatchet Project, you fielded questions very well from an audience that knew the book very well, because they had a teacher last year who had done the book in his class, and so when I opened the floor to questioning, they had a stream of them for Dylan. I'm not sure if you expected that or not, but it was.
I did. I didn't expect most of the kids to dislike the book, because I loved it.
And I love Hatchet too, and I put it on the list because I thought and I actually was very glad you chose it, because I thought it would suit you very well, and his analysis was quite good. And also I will say on a non-academic note, as far as personal goals go, I got to watch him at the football game again the other day, and you know what, you were very mature about that game too, because it just was nice to see it translated into sports, that he was just very, fair about how things were going, and you kept your cool even when things were a little bit weird going on, and I was not surprised to see you with a quarterback. I was saying, oh yeah, I figured Dylan might be a quarterback, and it's not just.
I was very proud of his poise.
Yes.
That he held himself and he represented the school well.
I thought you did too, and I was proud of the whole team, but I was proud of you, because you're my student. I watched 4 students that I had, like,
That was one of their top teams.
they were good. They were good.
bummed, I didn't know it was happening.
I was gonna call you, but then it was 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was all the way down in PD.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I live like mine.
That was
Some
close.
Carmel Valley, so. But yeah, I heard it went really well, you played a good game.
So I just like to see that it's not just.
Yeah.
They all played well.
It was tense, I was biting my nails.
I sat down the first half, the second half I couldn't sit.
Yeah,
I was walking around, throwing the football and watching the game. It was fun. It was exciting. I think it's too exciting for a first game.
Oh, no,
It's gonna be a letdown.
It was too exciting.
It was.
I had come to, prepared to relax and kind of
Yeah.
just hang out and watch it play, and I ended up just, holding on to all the moms and dads and just shaking with excitement, so. But
I'm so glad to see they brought some, were able to bring some of the sports that the boys and girls like here. They're enjoying the active part of high tech as well.
So if there are no other questions, we should probably close it up, but, do you have any questions for us before we do?
No, I don't think so. Okay. Sounds like he's doing okay.
yeah, he's doing all
Keep
right.
Yeah, we like him, we'll keep him for sure.
Yeah.
And we might keep him longer
Is
than
this
we
something
like.
that takes place twice a year, once a
Yes,
year?
twice a year, again,
We'll be doing student-led conferences again.
yeah.
Yeah.
And next time you'll have more things to choose from. Right now, we just started, so we don't have as much to choose from. We made some good choices, so.
Yeah.
Now,
I-
is there, like, with these boys, they have a specific amount that they have to read per day? Doesn't sound like that's the case in high tech, it's more they're responsible for a book.
For my class, for me, it's hard to just say do half an hour reading a day, because I find that either you do it grudgingly if you're not a reader, or else you would do it anyway if you are a reader. And I'd rather help facilitate that so you don't just pick up any random thing and just read it.
Yeah.
You're doing reading in
We're
class.
doing reading right now for homework. I just didn't show you.
Yeah, and then Beowulf, I like doing it in a way so they get to have little nibbles and things. And then outside reading project was my sort of solution to that, which was I'll give you a book, and then some people read it really quickly. Some people take a long time, but that way it was a way of them understanding it rather than just randomly forcing reading. So
I personally would like to see some learning encouraged.
Okay.
If you have some in your book that you think you would enjoy.
that I do
Knowing
have.
him, if you could just kind of, maybe introduce him to it.
I would already
Because I think once he
suggest.
gets involved with it,
Yeah, he's read this, I want to say, how many times, Dylan? 4, 5? You just bring it out and he'll start reading it again.
Good. Well, you
So,
should.
which I think is wonderful, but I think it's good to have new experiences and.
He mentioned he really wants, he's into forensics too.
Oh, then
So
you'll
then,
love this.
there might be some, or you'll love you'll love the book that we're reading, Monster, right now.
Yeah. There's a couple. One thing, just because you really like Hatchet, there's a sequel called The River, which is great to read, and also the same author did one called Dogs Off, which I also hear is very good, though I haven't read.
I've read Ryan.
Okay, I would suggest The River for you if you like Hatchet, just all of us to follow up on the same story. If you like forensics, there's a ton of those too. I mean,
Especially right now because it's such a hype, but I don't know any specific one.
I'll have to find out a list of the best ones. But there's nothing else. If you still have an evolution book, pull it out, and I will actually find ones that I think you would like. There's always just amazing things to read, and if you're interested, I can follow up in any way you want. Just merely for a grade, I don't do it as much because, yeah. So no, but thanks for telling me. That's great, and then I will get you some books.